Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to hear some more presentations? Yes, I need some thumbs up. All right, Ren, who do we got next?
So up next, we have Brad, Karonica, and Tara with Lowell Litter Crew. Their team was led by Richard Dino and Maylin Truesdell. All right, so tell me when you are ready and I will turn on the timer.
Will you be presenting our slides? Oh, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. Cool. Give me 1 second. I was just adjusting to make sure that we get there. Okay. I'm ready when you are, Ren.
I am ready.
In November 2020, a small impromptu community cleanup turned into a massive sweep of the Highlands. 35 volunteers came to aid in the beautification of our city, and since then has become a passionate, proud, hardworking, deeply caring team and family. Our mission at Lowell Litter Crew is to create and support volunteer opportunities in the city of Lowell, focusing on development of underutilized open spaces. Do you have a dream for our city? We are forming a volunteer response team able to tackle large-scale renovation projects, reducing labor costs by sharing our hands. Lowell Litter Crew will utilize the massive community support we have already seen to propagate community involvement, address the systemic issue of littering, and transform Lowell into a city that truly believes in its ability to be the unique, resource-filled, beautiful city we know it can be. This movement is taking over, and as we grow and our model is shared with other cities, our city will be proud to know that it started in Lowell, Massachusetts. Next slide.
So currently we are working on trash removal in order to clean the city before we start development. The Lowell Litter Crew is not a trash removal company. Our volunteer events provide an opportunity for the residents of our city who want to beautify our neighborhoods, drive policy change to make sure that the effort is sustained, and foster optimism in our community that together we can restore and enhance the natural beauty of our home.
Next slide.
So together, since the snow melted this year, over 250 unique volunteers have donated more than 3,000 hours of their time and removed 83,000 pounds of trash from the streets of our city during 50 events, averaging 3 events per week and 32 pounds removed each volunteer hour. We produce a monthly calendar at the beginning of each month that highlights our main Saturday events, and then we also have pop-up events during the week as well.
Next slide.
Out of our 50 events, 8 have focused on removal of invasive plants with Plant Our Riverbank. We are working hard along the river and canals to clean the area of plants like Nordweed, Tree of Heaven, and Bittersweet. We spent the spring cleaning all dump site from high plant growth area while they were easily accessible. The summer month, the crew have present in force on street and parks, and in the fall, we will focusing on removal of invasive plant species when thematic control are more effective.
Next slide.
In August, we are proud to perform our first redevelopment project at Correlation of a Better Acre, Winding Street Garden. In a single weekend, with the donation of our construction materials, we took a complete overgrown 2,500 square foot long lot and produced 13 garden beds, totaling 500 square feet of garden area. Projects like this are the future of Lowell Litter Crew. This project was designed, laid out, and built entirely by the crew and funded by CPA.
Next slide. Our short-term programming goals include in Q3 of 21, finalizing our agreement with Coalition for a Better Acre as fiscal sponsor, launching our website, and hitting 100,000 pounds of trash removal in our inaugural year before the first snowfall. In Q4 of 21, we will begin an anti-littering campaign with signs that encourage volunteering and operate from a field staging area on public land. In Q1 of 22, we will locate and connect with 10 local schools and produce curriculum for classes focused on the effects of community involvement, climate change, and recycling. In Q2 of 22, we will certify 2 crew members in both hazardous material handling for cleanup of encampments and chemical control of invasive plant species. Next slide. Our long-term goals include in Q3 and 4 of 22, establishing a field office, providing at least 1 class to each school in Lowell. In 2023, we will launch a citywide youth litter program, oversee the creation of a City of Lowell transfer station for bulk disposal free for residents, provide salaried positions to 3 employees, and launch a corporate expectations package with CBA to instruct business owners of our expectations regarding their sidewalks and parking lots. In 2024, we will replicate this program in another city. Meanwhile, we will advocate for legalization of aerosol art spaces and bottle bill and nip bill improvements, both city and statewide.
The Krewe will focus on 2 main channels for funding: social consciousness, locally operating company, and grants. But our main customer are our community volunteers. In order to increase volunteer turnout and community involvement, we want to make volunteering a party. We are starting a movement and awareness of our cause and effort will continue to make an impact because everyone supporting cleaning up our home. Creating a fun atmosphere for volunteers will attract attention and new participants. It is critical that we remember that we are not an insulated group. We continue to connect and create events with our community group, who will need additional hand in order to reach a dream they have for the city.
Next slide.
Lowell Krewe have already partnered with this organization during our event.
Next slide.
So in order to showcase our unique set of skills, we will provide projects which corporations want to sponsor by selecting locations and designing park improvements which highlight their specific interests and maximize their visibility via their investment in our product.
Next slide. That was an
All the way.
up slide. Thank you.
So in 2022, Lowell Krewe will locate 10 corporate donors to each sponsor a park improvement within the city. These sponsorships at $10,000 each will allow the Krewe to perform major renovations to a park in each of our 9 neighborhoods, as well as support our friends at DIY Lowell with their efforts to improve the Centerville Riverwalk along the Merrimack River. These park upgrades will be designed ahead of pitch in order to maximize our potential during presentation to corporate partners.
Next slide. Our immediate fiscal goals are to, in Q3 of 21, perform our first park improvement and hit 50 volunteer events in 2021. We've completed this work. In Q4 of 21, we will develop an education plan and connect with Lowell's 5 high schools and 8 public middle schools and receive our first grant for materials, which will accelerate our abilities in the field. In Q1 of 22, we will locate 2 corporate sponsorships totaling $20,000 and receive awards totaling $10,000 in grants. In Q2 of 22, we will begin our pace of 1 park improvement per month to be sustained throughout 2022 and locate 3 corporate sponsorships totaling $30,000 and receive awards totaling $15,000 in grants. Lowell Krewe will be aggressive in its fundraising tactics during the cold months so that we have money to spend on development during the warmer months. Next slide. The beautiful thing about simple volunteer cleanup events is they're very cost effective. We have, with some small donations from the community and support from the city and the Canal Waters Cleaners, been able to meet break even right away, and our community involvement will grow. We expect to have reached 1,000 unique volunteers by the end of 2022. In 3 to 5 years, we will set up the infrastructure necessary for the residents of Lowell to be able to aid in the upkeep of their home. Students will be under the tutelage of the Krewe so that they are an active part of preventative maintenance, and businesses will be involved in the efforts necessary to keep Lowell beautiful. By the end of 2023, the Krewe will be capable of providing salaries to 3 employees. 3 to 5 years of an annual invasive plant species mitigation is enough to completely eradicate them from a given area. In 2024, the Krewe will launch in a neighboring city. Next slide.
So the timing of the Krewe's beginnings were very fortunate. Conversations on local social media forums constantly revolved around the appearance of our city during the pandemic, which had suffered considerably. Our community and nation were growing tired of fighting with each other, as was commonplace for the past few years. And we were ready to resume positive relations with our neighbors, and the pandemic had kept many of us from any kind of socialization for some time. It was becoming clear that our city was losing its pride. Word of an opportunity to improve all these areas led to an immediate embrace of our efforts. Now, the city has seen what the Krewe can do, but word of our efforts is still growing. We are working tirelessly to help our city finally be able to surpass long-standing negative reputation based on appearance and highlight the immense natural beauty within.
Next slide.
Our volume, community pride, bring people together for a common goal. conservation, enhancing the unique aspect of our home, environmental, leading to social renaissance that can come with sharing ideas regarding litter, socialization, making volunteering a party.
Next slide.
So we're here today to request a $3,000 contribution towards our efforts in creating a culture which highlights community pride around a beautiful city, including, so we're asking for advertising, PR campaign, business cards, banners, event calendar printing, stickers, decals, pop-up tents. We're asking for generated PA system, which all sum up to $3,000.
Next slide, please. Lowell Litter Crew is committed to the creation of volunteer opportunities, staying flexible to meet community needs, and providing the tools necessary to get the job done. We say, anything you can dream, together we can build with the talent of our hands, the creativity of our minds, and the depth of our hearts. And as always, tomorrow there'll be more of us. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's unmute in 3, 2, 1. Let's